Welcome to the Ghetto Logic Show. I'm about to take a trip, so it's only fitting that this episode is about visitors who take trips here.
Hey, Holmes.
No, not the ones that cross the border. I'm talking about visitors from out there, or whichever way you're looking up into the sky. Is there a government conspiracy hiding the fact that aliens are amongst us or that they visit us? Have we been stealing technology from them? Backwards engineering? Are we the only sentient life out there in this whole big wide universe? Are they here? Have they been here? Is it all just make-believe? I gotta get on the road. I'm gonna catch you back at the lab. Thanks again for coming to the Ghetto Logic Show, you sons of bitches! Hey, what's good? Welcome back to the Ghetto Logic Show, especially welcome back to the UFO Files. Okay, we're going over some great stuff here. Like I like to say, wowsies. Let's pick up where I left off. I left off talking about something that my grandfather jokingly told me when I was little. This was about 1976. Where he basically laughed. I think I had asked him a question about being an astronaut. And he made a reference to, he was like, well, what do you want to be an astronaut for? And I said, because I want to travel through space and go through, you know how little kids think, you know. And he jokingly said, oh, you don't have to worry about going to the moon. We can't go there no more. The thing about my grandfather was he would say things to me or do things, and he would try to set my mind on a different path than the path that I guess he felt that it was going on. I think this came a lot from him being a Mason, and I think this helped me grow into the person I am now, where I just don't take things on face value. No matter what you say, I have to actually, you know, if you tell me A, I really, 9 times out of 10, don't really believe you. Especially when I think that's a lot of the reason why I spend a lot of time, you know, going over conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and why I don't trust the government. Okay, this is a personal choice thing. Please, FBI, don't come knocking on my door. Okay, I'm not that much of a threat. All I'm trying to do is share my opinions and the things that I feel strongly about here on YouTube. So there's no reason to kick in my door and do that false charge stuff. All right, I'm just joking. Let's fast forward a few years. That really stuck in my head. That follows the principle of, you know, every thought that you give someone else becomes a seed that germinates. And through my research, he's right. He is right. Do you know that there hasn't been a manned moon landing since 1972? Why? Again, like I said, the last segment, the moon is the closest celestial body to us. Why would you, and I just had this, you know, my son is in college, God bless him, and he thinks he knows everything about the world and the way it works. And we had this discussion while I was editing the last episode. He basically wanted to know where I was coming from. Me trying to pass what was passed on to me, I had him sit down and watch a couple of videos with me, and I threw a couple of books at him. And I said, all right, you come to your own conclusion. Here's what I'm drawing from, and I want you to come back to me and tell me what you think. But the gist of our conversation was, I explained to him, he was like, well, why do you think that, you know, we're not allowed on the moon anymore? And I told him, I said, I really believe that there's another race on the moon, okay, that basically told us not to come back. To which he asked me, he said, well, what's your reasoning behind that? And I was like, well, we haven't made a moon landing again since 1972, okay. Basically, you know, you know, we talked about the Clementine shots that were blurred out on Google, and I showed him some of those, and I was like, well, why doesn't, since it's just pure science and the military has nothing to do with it, and the moon is just an object that is owned by no country, it's just a celestial body, I was like, how come NASA doesn't do the straight feeds anymore? How come the feeds are time delayed and edited? You know, to which, you know, he looked at me, he's like, you know, he's looking at me like, Dad, you're crazy, you know, but, that's the main thing. Why haven't we gone back? And the point that I brought up to him, I was like, well, do you think it would be cheaper to build a space station on the moon? You know, where it's a stationary thing, you have access to resources, you can store stuff, you know. Basically, they said that near the polar regions of the moon, there's actually ice, therefore water, very important in human beings. Why did we waste all the money to build an orbiting space station? Well, to me, you know, it makes no sense. To him, he said, oh, because it's cheaper. And I was like, well, how does it stay up if it's cheaper? Wouldn't it be cheaper to build something on a stationary body, i.e. the moon? It bothers you that, you know, again, and a lot of people say that, you know, well, you know, that that's kind of far-fetched. Why would the government go through all the trouble if there is another alien race or another race that exists or coexists near us? First off, I think the aliens have basically, if they do exist on the moon, I haven't seen them, so I can't say positively yes or no, okay? However, I do look at the whole Stanley Kubrick movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, where the monolith is on the dark side of the moon. Okay, I'm drifting here. Back to what I'm saying. The moon. What a lot of people are forgetting is astronauts are basically, they're part of the military. So no, they're not going to, you know, they have to keep, they're subject to security as far as the military sees fit. So no, they're not going to jump out and say, oh yeah, I saw this, I saw this, I saw this, okay? A lot of people still are under the impression, oh, because we're a connected world, they can't hide information like that anymore. You don't know the military, okay? Because if they tell you that, listen, if you say anything to this, we will kill your family, or we will lock you away so far underground that nobody will even know that you exist. Okay? And the military can't do that. We're finding out that now on a much smaller level. Okay? What they're doing to what they call political prisoners. You know, what they're doing to people that they're considering terrorists. They snatch you up, you're gone. End of story. Think 451 Fahrenheit. Think George Orwell's 1984. It's not impossible to make someone disappear. Okay? And to erase all traces of it. Just for the fact that the memory of the average American goes for about 5 years. And then it becomes a non-event in our mind. Okay, but back to the whole moon thing and the people on the moon. Most importantly, you have to look at those who are in power, how they view the whole alien thing. If somebody came to you right now, if you went home and turned on the news and someone said, we have been visited by aliens, this is alien number 1 here, and he's going to give a few words. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Society as we know it now would begin to crumble. Just for the fact, first off, just for the fact that you just threw religion out the door. Okay, you just threw most 99% of the religions out the door because now we are not the only ones in the universe. Okay, then the fear. We're going to have a lot of fear. See, this is the whole breakdown of what's going to happen to us supposedly once they tell us that aliens do exist. The fear. You're talking about people that have maybe been in universe 20 million years before us and their technology is so far behind us. yeah, the military's not going to be very happy about that, okay? And you know what? At the end of the day, if you have a force that's stronger than us, that can travel light years, you know, that's like me going in the ring with Mike Tyson. There's a good chance that I'm going to get my ass whooped, okay? I'm going to get crushed. I'm going to get destroyed. Now, you think of that on the level of aliens against the Earth, because I think that we're stupid enough that we might try to attack them, just to hold on to our idea of our society, okay? You don't believe me. You say, no. There might be one or two. I know me, I would accept it. But then, because I already know that it's kind of egotistical to think that I'm the only sentient form of life in this universe, so I would accept it. However, if you don't believe me, look at the test that the government put out there for you, okay? And this is something I'm going to give you the feed on, since you don't believe me, is look at the radio broadcast of War of the Worlds. What happened? Okay? The reason why the government goes through so much trouble to basically hide the fact that aliens exist is for those in power to hold on to the power that they have. Okay, I listen to David Icke and the whole, Icke brings up a lot of great points. He brings up a lot of great theories. He just loses me when he gets to the lizard people. Everything else, I can kind of fly along with what he said. Remember when the Star and the Inquirer was not about, okay, movie stars and celebrities and the new diets, okay? At one point it was like Weekly World News. It was UFOs, unexplained beasts, unexplained phenomena, stuff like that. And it was given, you know, and there's another thing that my grandfather told me, and I'm going to have to end this episode now, but again, it's just food for thought. The easiest way to hide the truth is to put it right in your face. Strange. Newspapers like the Weekly World News, the Old Star, the Old Inquirer, the Old Globe, okay, they basically told you what happened. If you actually scan the newspapers and actually pay attention to the newscast, they tell you. They tell you. Who remembers the Mars mission? Wowsies. So you think that that aliens have nothing to do with us. You think that we don't go back to the moon because we're bored. Okay? You really think that we are the only sentient life in this whole universe? I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong. I just need people to tell me. Send an email. See that email address right there? Send it to me. Tell me what's on your mind. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a comment box right over there. Hit me back. Let me know. Alright? Listen, UFO Files, I'm going to work on the next episode, and we're going to talk about how ancient people basically dealt with and explained phenomena. Okay. I'm going to show you some artwork, okay? And some of it's going to be religious, Christian based. Some of it is going to be from other cultures and other religions. And lo and behold, that looks like a flying saucer. Listen, Get a Logic Show, peace. Yes, I'm the